Hey guys, what's up? It's Wes. So in this video, I actually don't know. I have nothing planned. Listen, I'm three. I'm in the middle of recording like three premium tutorials, so my mind is kind of like burned out completely. But something I did want to do. We're gonna look at some sketches. I did a sketch in Clip Studio, and I'm also about to do a sketch in Procreate, and I'll put that time lapse here as well. But what I did want to do is talk a little bit about the wrap up of this year of 2024 and what we can kind of expect from the channel in 2025. So this isn't really like a New Year's resolution thing. This is more just me kind of I don't know, compartmentalizing how this past year has gone on YouTube and kind of pushing forward, seeing what we're going to be doing next year, what the focus is going to be. Maybe if we're going to pivot a little bit. I have a few ideas. I'm just going to snowball some stuff, okay? And I would love to hear what you guys like about the channel. I would love to hear it. So if you want to leave your comment below about what your favorite type of stuff on the channel is, that will definitely help me kind of steer the ship in the right direction. But without further ado, let's hear me blab on about a bunch of nonsense while you watch some sketching, which I've been doing more of, which, you know, hey, I'm kind of proud of myself. So yeah, let's sketch a little bit. Let's talk. Just sit back, relax. It's almost Christmas time, so, you know, get your hot cocoa or maybe put a little Grandpa's old cough medicine in there, if you know what I mean. If you're of age, drink responsibly. So here we go. Here's a few sketches. Now, I'm really liking this sort of fantasy, sketchy character. They're not super original characters. They don't really have a lot of backstory or anything. I'm liking the fact that I can like kind of turn off my brain and just do basic poses and like basic, not even anatomy, but just a structure where clothes can be put on. You know, I'm not worried about, well, let me do the exact measurements of the elbow bone and, the hips and the counter posture of the shoulders versus I'm not super worried about that. Really, this is just dexterity of sketching. Having the stylus, having the pencil, whatever, and just making something. The more I do this, the more I just sort of brainstorm and try to make things look decent without too much of an agenda behind it. I actually build more confidence in pushing forward with more kind of detailed ideas, bigger projects or client work or something like that. These small form little sketches are really starting to help. So think of it almost like a thumbnail of what a character could be or something like that. So I know I did the one character in Clip Studio. I'm pretty sure I'm doing another one in Procreate for the second time lapse. It'll be much quicker. Just because I'm going to use the built-in Procreate time-lapse feature. I've been liking that a lot. But anyway, that's going to probably be more for a bigger piece. I do have an idea for one, but the first thing I have to do is kind of nail down a character to be able to put in the rest of the environment. And we'll probably look at that whole painting either in a future YouTube video or as part of one of the courses I'm working on right now, which is the second volume of Simplifying Color Theory. So that was a really popular course from about a year ago, maybe even more than a year ago now. And that's the one that has had the most, 5-star reviews, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people really enjoy that Simplifying Color Theory. So it's taken me a little bit to work up, I guess, the courage and really test out some of the theories I have in mind for the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, to really see if I kind of know what I'm talking about or if I have the experience to be able to comfortably explain what my method would be in simplifying color theory more and more. So if you haven't picked up the first one, go ahead and do that. It's a super accessible course. It really does simplify it. A lot of people message me afterwards. I'm like, oh, thank God something like this existed, because it made it way easier to tackle big elaborate pieces, because, it really just solidify stuff down to something that you can ask yourself over and over. And then whatever that answer is going to tell you what to do in regards to color theory. So yeah, it's a cool course. I recommend it, but of course I'm biased. But I think the second piece that you're going to see is kind of the building blocks of what we're going to be using as the final project of that course. So I'm at the tail end of making that course. I'm also doing something a little smaller, making some traditional kind of like canvasy textures, but also some special effect kind of overlay textures that a lot of people that enjoy my art and the way that I do things really like kind of that thick paint look. They like that sort of, the canvas kind of peering through the piece, but it's not overwhelming and it can kind of match any style. So I thought, hey, why don't I make, 30 of those and sell them? So I'm working on that as well. And then I'm actually working on a portrait class. So I've had a lot of requests about portraits. I do fairly stylized portraits, as you can kind of see. This isn't, neither one of these is really a portrait, but the way I think about, the Loomis method or kind of adapting certain visual affects of a person's face or kind of the contours or things like that, it is a little bit different than what you're going to get in like formal training, but it's almost like a shorthand. It's something that I can do very quick, that I can edit, make it look pretty good. It is my quote unquote own style, but style is one of those things that you're going to get to eventually. I would never, ever tell an artist to worry about what their style is, because you can't escape it. Style is like handwriting. Even if you had a teacher that taught you how to handwrite, your handwriting looks different than theirs. Do you know what I mean? Like your style is yours. You can't escape it. You can try as hard as you can to break it and try to have a different style. It's not going to happen. You're going to figure out what your style is after you do your, 10,000 hours. You're going to just absorb a bunch of stuff on how to solve problems, and that's going to be your style. So don't fight the style thing, okay? I know that's a side note, but, so that sort of stuff is kind of what I'm working on right now. And it's pushing to the end of the year. This year has been pretty wild, pretty crazy. A lot of amazing projects that I've been able to be a part of. Some of them I can talk about in 2025 pretty early. I think I made the cut on one of them. I need to check my emails and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I made the cut on one. So really excited about that project. It was kind of whenever I got the email about it, it was sort of a passion project. Like, aha, I didn't know I wanted to do this, but I'm glad I did it. Glad they kind of invited me on board. And yeah, I was able to do it. So we'll talk about that early in the year, next year. What big stuff happened this year? Oh yeah, Imperium Maledictum, the Warhammer 40,000 thing for Cubicle 7. That was a lot of fun. We won an ENnie award, which is kind of a fan voted and critics choice award type thing for the interior art of Imperium Maledictum. And while none of my paintings made the interior, I was part of the visual development team with a lot of the artists that did get their stuff inside. So we had a lot of back and forth stuff. And I made 4 big, elaborate like mood paintings. And that sort of helped set the tone for what the book was. And the way it was explained to me was, okay, what if Warhammer 40,000 was a Blade Runner detective series? And I was like, hell yes. So that was a ton of fun. You can actually check out some of that VizDead stuff on the website, wesgardner.art. But anyway, so that came out. There's a bunch of other stuff too. Some games coming out. Games already came out. Yeah, a lot of tabletop role-playing game art. I think I did a few pieces for Varia, the card game, which I always love working with Guildhouse Games. I've done some covers that have not been released yet for other game companies, which I'm very excited about. So a lot of gaming stuff, a lot of tabletop, a lot of dice roll stuff. But that sort of brings me to what the focus is going to be in 2025. Now, we've had some videos about AI, right? I'm not a fan. I think it completely misses the point. And I am sad to say that a lot of companies, even some I have worked with in the past, have decided to start going towards that route. And that's slightly upsetting. Actually, it's pretty upsetting to me. I understand. As much as I don't like it, I understand that bottom dollar, it's cheap and you get a thing that kind of looks okay and If you pay an artist to fix it, who's going to know the difference, whatever. And no, are you a Luddite? No, you need to get with the times, grandpa, because it's all, blah, 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 blah. My whole thing is respecting the craft. I'm a big fan of the craft of image making. I think the beauty of it comes from the problems you have to solve while you're creating the image. That's what gives any of this any importance whatsoever. Also, the fact that you're making something that's essentially a one of one. Sure, you can have revisions and thumbnails and stuff, but you're making this process. You're in your own mind. You're doing the hard work and coming out of the other side as a different artist for every single painting. Every time I start a painting, I have to remind myself I know how to do this because it's like blank canvas syndrome. You see it and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to do this. Oh my God. And then you're getting 10, 15, 20 hours in, and then you're like, okay, I've been here before. I know what to do. Okay. Yeah. And there's beauty in that. There is something worth fighting for, I will say, on that regard. So my focus is going to be on more handmade art. And I don't only just mean digital art. I'm actually going to be busting out the traditional stuff more and more, even on the YouTube channel. So we're going to be doing some more. I actually have a brand new phone. My old phone is fantastic, and I will be using that old phone as my way to capture footage, doing everything from acrylic painting, oil painting, graphite, charcoal, doing that type of stuff. I think pivoting that direction is probably a pretty safe bet. So if you're a digital artist and you are worried about AI, the best thing you can possibly do is cut the cord. Completely blow the bridge up while you're still standing on it. Make traditional art. Go in, learn how to pull your own canvas, learn how to, actually build your own canvas. It's a great thing to learn. Even if you want to go far enough to learn how to press your own pigment, mix it with linseed oil or, polymer or acrylic. Acrylic's just a kind of a plastic deal, and you put some glycerin in there and you make it the vehicle to get it out of the tube. There's a lot of really cool things you can do on the craftsmanship side, or kind of the mechanical side of creating images. And the more ownership you have of the entire process, the better off you're going to be, in my opinion. And it also comes down to, I always like to tell people that my overall goal forever is going to be, if a company hires me and they need something really well done, drawn on like an IHOP napkin, can I do it? Yeah. That's the goal. I want to be able to draw on anything, anywhere, anytime. The power of being able to do this for a living, and painting and drawing and that type of thing, is I can do this without electricity. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can do it by candlelight. People did it way back in the day. You can do it by the sun coming through the window, and you don't even need to be on the grid to do this stuff, man. I know I'm sounding like the old crazy person living in the woods, but if you want to get disconnected, you better disconnect. Do you know what I mean? There's something about that I think is actually going to be pretty powerful moving forward. If you have the dexterity, if you have the ability to work not only in a digital realm, but also traditionally, I think you're going to be better off, not only from a job perspective, but like from an artist perspective, just fulfilling for you. You're going to have so many different skills. The world's your oyster. You can kind of do whatever you want. So something to think about. I'm interested to see, because there's a few of my other art buddies that are making that pivot as well. They are saying, hey, I'm busting out the oils. I'm having a lot of fun with watercolor and ink wash and things like that. I think there's some merit to that. And plus, you can always sell the original for big bucks, which is great. I mean, raising a family, you kind of need money to have things like food and shelter, which are pretty important. But overall, for the YouTube channel, while we're going to be doing the traditional art, mixing it with the digital art, doing all that stuff, I've come to find out that a majority of my videos that do the best as far as like viewer retention and comments and like ad revenue and all of it, just interest and viewership and whatever, is actually either the product reviews or what I call the my quote unquote favorite parts of. So like, here are my favorite brushes for this program. Here's my favorite settings for that program, which makes sense because if people are looking for advice on the best settings for like Rebel to get the best oil painting look, you know, there's market there. There's people looking for that stuff, and that makes sense. These type of videos, the one we're doing right now that just has some background stuff and maybe we're talking about some pie in the sky ideas, don't do as well. I actually like doing these videos better because my whole goal is you need to know as an artist, like you listening right now, that you are not alone. You're not alone. This is not an easy gig. It's not an easy hobby. It's not an easy pursuit. You will question yourself every day. The pros do it. I know, God knows I do it. There's nothing else I want to do. You know, I'm skilled in a whole bunch of different stuff, and I've had a bunch of different jobs, and this is essentially my third career. But I don't see myself going back to anything else, you know, unless something catastrophic happens. This is where I'm at. You know, I'm an artist through and through, illustrator, painter, whatever you want to call it. That's it. YouTube's actually the kind of quote unquote side hustle. It's the side thing that I like to do because I like to get stuff out there. I like to get people involved and like talking about stuff and discussing, and I like teaching. Like I'm a teacher in my heart. That's what I like to do. I like to show people that they are worth more than what they might give themselves credit for. And that includes all the people watching on YouTube. So it's a hard gig. It's a very hard road. And I would love for people to know that they are not alone in that journey. And it's always going to feel that way. I don't care how successful you get. I don't care if I've had Star Wars and Warhammer and, you know, League of Legends and all this other stuff. The doubt is always there. It's always there. And basically you become either more brave or more stupid, depending on how you see it. And you continue to do it anyway. You push through, you know. And I think perseverance is going to be a big thing in 2025. I have a sneaking suspicion, not that some big thing's going to happen and I'll get a bazillion subscribers and all this other stuff. Like we're very close to 10,000 right now. It's taken me, I think I uploaded my first video, which is all kind of video game content, by the way, way back then, but in 2012. So it's only taken 12 years to get 10,000 subscribers. That's awful. It's awful. There are like, I won't say flash in the pan channels because that's not true. I mean, they have merit and people watch them. Hell, you know, I can't knock it. People will get 10,000 subscribers in 3 weeks. It's taken me 12 years. So, you know, people don't need to come at me with a 15, you know, oh, the overnight sensation. Yeah, 15 years in the making. Like, that's not what it's about. I'm going to put out what I want to put out. I want to put out stuff that I know is good and that I know is to be true, at least from my point of view, as far as what my method is or my thoughts are or the way I approach things. Is it going to be the most popular thing? No. And I don't care, right? I'm going to stay true to what I do. I'm going to stay true to the message of it. But I know that, yeah, it's kind of a fool's errand to do any of this expecting any sort of monetary compensation. It's just not, it's not in the cards, you know. But I'm still going to do it, you know. I'll tell my kids this. I'll tell, you know, I tell my mentees, the people that go one-on-one with me on like Zoom calls and stuff, be too stupid to quit. You're going to be amazed at what can happen if you don't give up. You just keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And people will tell you you are wasting your time. I had this happen to me with artwork. This is why I didn't do art. I went to school for it back in 2004, dropped out in 2006 because I was like, you know what? Everyone's right. This isn't going anywhere. And then I didn't get back into art until 2019. So I get it. It's easy to follow the herd when they tell you you cannot do it. It's easy to let those voices kind of resonate with you. and be like, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Hell, maybe they are right, but don't let them be right. Don't give up. Don't. Just don't. Um, yeah, like I said, I have no idea what this video is about. it's the middle of December, man. It's been a long year, but it's been a good one. I think there's been more growth of me as an artist this year than any previous year. I think my ability is better. My eyes are able to catch things quicker. I'm able to actually fix things that I view as errors. Like if I see something and it doesn't quite look right, I'll go back and fix it immediately instead of waiting until later. I have the skill set now to be able to see that a little better. It's still not where I want it to be. I'm still not at the level I want to be. That's still going to take really decades of work. But, if I grind out every day, I'm not, I am a big fan of the 10,000 hour rule, but for me, I don't think 10,000 hours is enough. I think it needs to be about double that to start getting to the level I want to be at, to where I can work with any client in the world that needs an illustration and being able to knock it out of the park with kind of any style, which is insane. That's an insane goal. And I understand that it's not achievable. It's 100% not achievable, because it's like saying, I want to play for the NFL. Okay, what position do you want to play? All of them. Like, you can't be the kicker and the quarterback and the linebacker, and that's not how that works. If you're going to be part of a team, you got to do one specialized thing really, really well. And that is, what you got to do. But I don't do that because I like to make things way harder than they need to be, apparently. But maybe in 2025, we go a little easier on ourselves. Maybe we stick to our lane a little more. If I'm good at landscapes, why don't we paint more landscapes? Why don't we do, more landscape seminars? Why don't we make that the big focus and see how far that gets us? Or are we going to stay as a generalist? I want to be able to do characters and poses and scenes and key art and marketing and concept art and, spot illustration and full page illustration and card game art and box art and covers and all of it. Just all of it. I don't want to know what my day-to-day looks like. That just keeps it fresh. You always have to solve problems. You always have to be on your toes. You're a privateer, man. You're a freelancer, Literally, you're going in and you're getting hired by anyone and everyone that'll hire you, because my motto has always been, always. Well, number one, be too stupid to quit. That's a big one. But number two, be so good they cannot ignore you. And that's the goal. I want to be good enough at all of it that people will be like, whoa, man, this guy's on another freaking level. And I don't think I'm there yet. I think I'm actually years away from that. But I think we're slowly making our way. And, that's not a pompous attitude, or that's not a cool braggadocio thing. It's like, no, I've been working my ass off, so I better get something out of it. Whether that's a new skill or some sort of, just the essence of knowing that I'm doing the best that I can. And I think the rest of it takes care of itself, right? So hopefully you're liking these sketches. I have been sketching more. I said that about 6 months ago. I was going to really start nailing down more sketching. And I have been doing that. And hopefully, I know they don't look the prettiest or whatever, but that's sort of not the point. The point is just to pick up the pencil every single day, pick up the pen, stylus, whatever you're using, and just make something. Doesn't have to be good. Who cares? It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I actually have a saying in one of my courses I'm recording right now that you should aim for a 50% success rate. Half of your stuff should be pretty good or that you feel comfortable with. The other half, throw it in the bin. Doesn't matter. If you get if you hit 50% home runs every time you go up to bat, you are in the Hall of Fame as one of the best players to ever play the game of baseball. Do you know what I mean? And that's 50%. That means you fail half the time. So just think of it that way, man. So yeah, a lot of kind of inner monologue stuff happening. Of course, But like I said earlier, I do want to know what your favorite stuff on the channel is. Now, I know what's really great about YouTube is it's global and it has a big reach. So we're going to have comments from artists all around the world with every different type of goal you can imagine, at every different skill level you can imagine. And I want you to not only put your comment in there, but read everyone else's comments too. See what kind of like-minded artists are there. Maybe some people really like the reviews. They love the product reviews. They love the program deep dives and stuff like that. But maybe you have artists that enjoy these type of videos a little bit more, the ones that are more introspective or talking about the mentality of a working artist. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I think that'll do it for this one. I do have, let's see, I'm recording this December 16th. So there's still a few more weeks left in December. I think we'll do one more main video and then maybe actually do a New Year's resolution video about what are our actual goals for 2025. I need to jot those down, make them actionable, and see what we can get into on that. But that is my time for this time. You guys have been amazing as always. So have a very safe and happy holidays. If the next video doesn't come out before Christmas, or Hanukkah, or whatever you're celebrating this time of season, I wish you a happy one. And yeah, stay safe, stay warm. I say that, but it's like 80 degrees in Texas in the middle of December. Crazy. Anyway. But yeah, go out there, make cool art, take care, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace.